Welcome back to the Citizen Data Academy. This video is the second in our City-Parish Government Module. We'll show you how to use Open Checkbook BR. We briefly introduced this application in the previous video, but now we'll cover it in greater detail. Open Checkbook BR records city-parish spending across all departments, down to the level of each individual check. This transparency allows citizens to monitor government spending and ensure it is being managed responsibly. The data is updated nightly, and it goes back to January 2018. You can access this application at checkbook.brla.gov. You might notice right away that Open Checkbook BR has a very similar layout and interface to its sister application, Open Budget BR. If you haven't already watched our video covering Open Budget, we strongly encourage you to do so before watching this video. Keep in mind that Open Checkbook only shows invoices for goods and services purchased by the city-parish. It does not show all of the budgetary expenditures, generally omitting certain things, such as salaries, insurance, and vehicle payments, which are fully recorded in Open Budget BR instead. Just as in Open Budget, there are two main ways to explore Open Checkbook. First, in the search tool at the top of the page and in the top right, you can quickly find a specific type of service we spend money on, expenditures by department, or payments to a specific vendor. You can even search by invoice number. Simply enter your search term and select an item from the list. The application will jump straight to the expense records of your specified item. The second main way to explore the data is with the tiles on the homepage. The Spending Summary tile shows an overview of total spending to date for the current fiscal year. The city-parish has spent just over $450 million across nearly 80,000 transactions. The timeline chart tracks spending by month when you hover over the graph. In a typical month, spending ranges between $30 million to $50 million. With a few days left before Christmas, around $32 million has been spent so far in December. From the list, you can choose to display other fiscal years or show them all together in the chart. The bottom three tiles provide a quick preview of the wider body of data, showing the top 10 areas of spending over the current fiscal year by department, expense category, and vendor respectively. Clicking the Show Chart button opens a bar graph where you can hover over the bars to view the exact figures. For example, we can see the Department of Environmental Services has spent the most this year, at just under $100 million in expenses. EMS has spent around $18 million. The top expense category has been IoTB and infrastructure, at over $60 million. Blue Cross Blue Shield has the highest spending by vendor, at around $62 million. You can left-click on a bar to jump straight to that portion of the data. You can return to the home page at any time by clicking this button in the top left. Left-click this button to explore all spending. By default, this page displays data for the current fiscal year, but you can view budget information of previous years since 2018 or all of the years combined. Total spending for this year is just over $450 million. The default setting is to break down the budget by department, but from this drop-down menu, you can also view the budget by division, expense category, fund, and vendor. We'll use department for this example. This page functions the same as an Open Budget BR. By default, these graphs will always display values in descending order, from the largest to smallest spending amounts. You can adjust this with the Sort menu to show values in ascending order and alphabetical order. Hover over a bar to find more information. For example, the Mayor's Office of Homeland Security has spent around $15 million so far this year, which is just over 3% of total spending. The bar charts only display 15 items at a time. You can scroll through the rest with the next and previous buttons below the chart. The Scale Dollar Amounts option can be useful when viewing a page of items that have relatively small spending amounts. With the Show As menu, you can display the bar chart items in dollar amounts or by their percentage of overall spending. In addition to viewing the budget items in a bar chart, you can also view them in a pie chart and in a timeline. Here we can see how spending across departments has changed over time, dating back to the 2018 fiscal year. Total spending is shown by default, but we can turn this off and display other items, such as the Police Department and Library Board of Control. We can adjust the window of our timeline by clicking and dragging this tool below the chart, or by selecting a preset option from the display menu. By clicking the Share button at the top right, you can share a link to your chart or embed it into a web page. Below the charts, you can view the same data in tabular form in the Ledger Details section of the page. Just like an Open Budget BR, with a left click, you can drill down deeper into the data for as long as the items have a nested relationship. For example, I could drill down into the spending of our department and find our transactions with General Informatics. You can return to the previous level of the nested relationship by clicking the back button, or you can skip back several items in the list on the left. Now it's time to dive into the unique aspects of this application, found here in the checkbook page. This view shows all the transactions the City-Parish has made in descending order by date, starting with the most recent transaction. The page is designed to resemble the familiarity of your personal checkbook. You can sort or filter the data by any column. For example, imagine we only wanted to see transactions of greater than $2,000 that occurred between December 1st and December 7th. We've cut the over 75,000 transactions we started with down to less than 400. In certain columns, you can left-click this box to jump straight into the spending summary for that category. In the first column on the left, you can click the magnifying glass icon to show further details about a specific expenditure, such as this monthly maintenance payment by the Metro Airport. In addition to filtering the data in the column headers, you can also filter the data by clicking in a specific field within your table. For example, if I want to view all transactions relating to the Greater Baton Rouge Airport District, I can simply click on that value. The data filters further to only show those transactions. I can filter the data again to only show transactions involving the airport terminal building. You can remove a filter individually by clicking the X button, or remove them all at once with Clear All. Another quick way to explore the exact spending data you're looking for is to drill down into the spending summary page first, then switch over to the checkbook page. With this button at the top right, you can download a file of your current data, with any filters still applied. You can view or download the entire Open Checkbook dataset from this link in the lower right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video, where we showcase the stormwater management map.